Shalom. This is a newbie in Israel, Hebrew on the Island 2. This is highlights from Bereshit chapter 3, Genesis chapter 3. Hopefully you enjoy it. Listen to it when you're in your car, before you go to sleep. Remember, the only saints of the Most High, the only chosen of the Most High are those that seek after the Most High, those that do not have any deceit or a lying tongue, and those that sigh and cry about the abominations in the midst of Israel. Be a part of it, Israel. Highlights from Genesis chapter 3, giving my highlights. Summary. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Most High made. And let's note, serpent in the Strongs mean serpent, image of a serpent, mythological form of serpent. So that serpent in the garden could be an actual serpent, could be an image of a serpent, a mythological form of a serpent. So, and remember, there's nothing too hard for the Most High. Whatever he did back then, that's what it is. That's what has been decreed. That's what stands. That's what's in the law. All right. The serpent then asked Eve, hath Elohim said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Eve stated, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, don't eat it or touch it lest ye die. That crazy serpent said, you will not die. The Most High is your eyes. He just doesn't want your eyes to be open to know good and evil. And you will be as a small God. She liked it and she desired it. She desired wisdom. So she did eat, and then she gave Adam. Both eyes were open, and they knew they were naked, so they sewed fig trees. And remember, we looked at naked in Genesis, Bereshit chapter 1, chapter 2 rather, and it actually means partially bare, naked. They then heard the voice of the Most High walking in the garden. Man said, the woman who gave me this to eat, that's when I ate it, when she gave it to me. The Most High said to the woman, what is it that thou hast done? The woman said, the serpent beguiled me. The Most High cursed the serpent above all beasts, and on your belly you will go. The Most High said, I will put enmity between thee and the woman. And enmity means hatred. That's why, guys, you ever want to say, yo, and listen, for you women out there, some of you are in denial of it. When you talk to the men seriously, they will say they have the hardest time, especially us Negro men, which are the Hebrew Israelites, which are the original Aborigines of the Americas. A lot of us say, yo, we have the hardest time with our women. They hate us. They desire the other men of the other nations. They want to get with that white man, Spanish man that looks like a white man, Indian men, Chinese men. So the baby's gonna have lighter skin, white people hair, white phenotypes. They give the black man a hard time, which is a form of hatred. And the law confirms it. The law confirms it when it says, the Most High said, I will put, and the Most High is doing this, he put enmity, that's hatred, between thee and the woman. So men out there, Hebrew brothers, you find that hatred, you know why, where it's coming from. It's coming from the Most High, and you're not delusional. Okay, let's continue. And for some of you women, you may find the same thing, then it's for you too. But the men find it very hard finding a woman, a Hebrew woman that's going to submit. The Most High said unto the woman, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and the conception in sorrow, and bringing forth children. Her desire shall be to her husband, and he shall rule over thee. So as you see in Genesis chapter 3, the order, the biblical law order. It's found in Genesis. The men, we rule over the women. And not saying rule over with an iron rod like we're going to rule over the heathen. Excuse me, I'm not saying that. But there's one person in charge in the physical down here in the household, which is the man. And women, you need to go get into your biblical order. We don't even need to read the New Testament. We don't. But in the New Testament it says women remain in silence, all this stuff. It tells you that, spells it out in the first book, Genesis 3. The man will rule over the woman. And what does ruling over the woman encompass? Everything. So you don't need a New Testament. And women, when you submit, you are in obedience to the Most High. Not just the obedience of man, obedience to the Most High. Are you obedient? Where am I? Okay, and Adam, because you listened to her, curses the ground. In sorrow thou shalt eat of it. Thorns and thistles shall come forth. And Adam, his wife, and remember, see, the first sin is Eve. And then adding Adam, and then the Most High said, because you listened to her, I'm going to do this to you. Okay? Adam called his wife Eve, mother of all things, living things. Elohim made coats of skin for his children. And those skins are actual skins. So I believe that they were naked or partially naked. Elohim stated, man hath become as one of us to know good and evil. So a small God-type figure is to know good from evil. So if he takes now from the tree of life and eat, he will live forever. See, and I told you that in Bereshit chapter 2. If Adam and Eve didn't eat from that tree, they would live forever. So you see eternity there. So all that's going to be turned back. He's going to turn back our captivity. So you see eternity in the first book of the law. He says, let us make us in our image. Then you see right now in Bereshit chapter 3, he says, man, if he would try to go eat now of that tree, the tree of life, he will live forever. So that was the intended purpose for man to live forever. In the image, he was made in the image of the Most High, and the ain't Malachim to live forever. All right, so let's get into the reading, and we'll call it quits. Let me turn on some lights. Hold on. Okay, turn off the little lights. Bereshit chapter 3, Genesis chapter 2. Enjoy. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Most High had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath highest said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Higher hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, for Elohim doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eye, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, did eat, and gave also to her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And he heard the voice of H.O.I walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Most High H.O.I amongst the trees of the garden. And Elohim called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked and I hid myself. And he said, who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldn't eat? And the man said, the woman who thou gavest to me to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Most High said unto the woman, what is it that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Most High said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon the belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herbs of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground, for out of it was thou taken. For dust thou art, unto dust shalt thou return. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Most High make coats of skin and clothed them. And the Most High said, behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore, the Most High set him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. That shows eternity, people. If man did not eat of that tree of good and evil, he would have lived forever from the beginning. So you find eternity in the scriptures. You find our downfall and what initially caused the downfall of man. Hopefully you enjoyed the reading of Bereshith chapter 2. And excuse me, when you see these Caucasians in here, I didn't put this video up for them. They are the heathen. Their lot is eternal servitude. I'm just showing you the beauty of the Grand Canyon, one of our places that the Most High gave us, the Hebrew Israelites, which are only the Negroes that have been scattered to the four corners of this flat earth. So just exile all the Caucasians you see. They've stolen everything, but everything will be returned and given back to us in double, triple, and quadruple layers. So just forget about them. I'm showing you the land. This is a new Ben Israel, a new Yashar Israel. Until next time, Shalom.